Good morning, and thanks again for joining us with Coffee with Carolyn. Today I'm honored to have with me John Hofstad, who is the County Administrator for Okaloosa County, and we have been through quite an exercise in the last month. As you know, I put forth a proposal to expand the bed tax in Okaloosa County. Currently, and I believe it's been since 1989, we have only had it along the coastal area. And you know, it just has been a huge benefit to the coastal area. We've been able to do so many wonderful things with this tax. As we start this program, I want to say that even though it's called a bed tax, it's not a tax for the local people. It is a tax for those who come and use our roads and stay in our hotels. Then there's a tax collected on those things. And that money is then used to be, it's collected by the Department of Revenue to be used to do wonderful things in Okaloosa County, like safety for those who want to go to the beach. We have lifeguards, or we can give a little bit of money of that to the Sheriff's Office. So today I've asked Mr. Hofstad to come in because the process to get to this point, to get all the municipalities together, was kind of a big deal. You want to talk about that a little bit?
It was, and you know, currently you touched on the fact that the existing bed tax district is really along that coastal fringe, and what we refer to as a 98 corridor, and it doesn't cover the entire 98 corridor through the county. Essentially about half of Mary Esther through Destin, along 98. It does in some cases extend a little further north of 98 in the Fort Walton Beach area and Destin area, but it's just always been that coastal fringe. And to your point, it has generated considerable revenue for this county that could be used for things like promotion of the Destin Fort Walton Beach destination and the other uses that you mentioned that support tourism. So we had fielded some inquiries from some of our municipalities, and gosh, this goes back probably 3 or 4 years ago with a conversation I had with the Niceville City Manager Lanny Corbin, and he posed a question, you know, what would it take to extend the bed tax district north of the bay? And they're building a lot of, as you know, a lot of hotels and a lot of rooms in the Niceville and Blue Water Bay area. And they see the benefit of tapping into that revenue source to promote functions that they have. You know, in the past it might have been the Boggy Bayou Mullet Festival. That's no more, but there's still a lot of things they do in the Niceville area with their Turkey Creek walking trail, which you know is just a wonderful amenity for those folks in that area of the county. We know we have wonderful, beautiful beaches here in Okaloosa County, and that's the draw for the majority of the tourists that we see coming to Okaloosa County. But we also have, you know, we have just a wealth of natural resources in the north end of the county. It's largely undeveloped, like it is in Crestview in the south end of the county, and so you have, you know, these eco programs and environmental programs that are all the rage today. I mean, you've got Blackwater Forest up there and the Blackwater River, and just beautiful old growth timber forest up there. The agritourism aspect of it, you know, we have a lot of agriculture in the north end of the county. So that's kind of what started this, and since that time we've fielded inquiries from other municipalities. Crestview was interested as well with expansion of the bed tax district. As you know, just tremendous amount of rooms in and around Crestview and the interstate, and how potentially they could tap into that revenue. That's kind of what started this, and then it was a matter of corralling all 9 of the municipalities and trying to get everybody on the same page with how we were going to advance this program and then utilize the revenue to benefit all of our municipalities. And we've worked quite extensively over the last couple months with all of our municipal leaders, and believe, based on a meeting we had here a week ago, we had a joint meeting of all the municipalities and the Board of County Commissioners, and from that I believe there certainly is support for an interlocal agreement that will be executed between the municipalities and another agreement with Okaloosa County, whereby we can carve out some of that revenue to benefit those municipalities and the programs they have locally.
Right. Very, very good synopsis. But we're not done yet. Now we need you, the voter, to look at this and decide whether you want this to go countywide. We can see the benefits, and we hope that you have, through watching this program and listening to other news reports, determined that it would be a good thing. To that end, we're putting out a special mail-in ballot. Now, I know, and I've heard from a number of you, mail-in ballots have gotten a bad rep, especially after the last election. But here in Okaloosa County, I can tell you that we're so lucky to have Paul Lux as our supervisor of election, and we've had I've been on the canvassing board, and the process is just amazing. There's not any way that anybody could commit fraud in this county on the ballot process. The mail-in ballot is more cost effective, and that's why we chose to do it this way. So by October 5th, you will receive and hopefully return a ballot by October 5th to the supervisor of election. I know some of you are already receiving that. It's a simple yes or no. It's not who are you going to vote for in a lot of different categories. So the good thing is that it helps pay for a lot of things. We have 3 state parks in Okaloosa County. Henderson State Park is already in the taxing district, but we have Fred Gannon in Niceville and the Blackwater Park, and there's so many ways that we can advertise and bring people to the natural beauty of the North End. There's so much about the North End that I love. I'm personally, when I go on vacation, many times I like to head towards the outdoors where you can walk on trails or bike or do water rafting or tubing, and all of that is offered at Blackwater. So it's not just about bringing people here to the beach, but showing them what an amazing county Okaloosa is and how diverse it is. It's just beautiful, and so we have a lot of flora and fauna that you can't find any other place. So I think that the fact that all the municipalities have finally come together to agree on this, and now we're bringing it out to the constituents to say this would be a good thing to have this brought. So some of the things that it pays for, John, talks about some of the things that the bed tax will pay for countywide if we can expand it.
Yeah, and I do want to touch on that because we certainly want to clear the air that if you live here in Okaloosa County and you either own a home or you rent here in Okaloosa County, it's always been our charge, that of the Board of County Commissioners and my office, to keep our tax burden low. And we're going through our budget process right now. We have a property tax millage of 3.83 mils. We have an aggregate millage of 3.97 mils. Why is that important? There's 67 counties in the state of Florida, and there's only, at last count, 4 counties that had an aggregate millage below 4. So it is something that we work toward each year to keep that tax burden low. This is yet another mechanism we've got at our disposal to keep that tax burden low, because those of us who live here are not going to pay it. It's, to your point, those that are coming down here by the thousands each year and crowding our roadways and our South End shopping and our beaches, they're the folks that are going to pay this tax burden for their impact to Okaloosa County, and there are a lot of uses for it. We touched on initially the marketing component. We have a robust tourism development department here in Okaloosa County, a very seasoned tourism development council it's made up of industry professionals, and they give good guidance to the board on how we can spend those dollars. But outside of that marketing that we do throughout the country, and we really key in on that southeast quadrant of the country, and Texas is a big draw for us as well, but now we're kind of reaching up into the upper Midwest with the growth of BPS. So we're able to touch Chicago and St. Louis and other areas of the country.
Washington, D.C. and Baltimore.
That's right.
I have been there when I've seen our commercials come on.
We had a marketing campaign we did in New York here a year or so ago. So now that BPS has expanded, touching those other markets, we're putting marketing dollars into those areas as well to draw folks to our part of the Panhandle of Northwest Florida.
Now,
but you also have the uses that we can sink into our tourism development, our tourism facilities. So all of our beach access ways on Okaloosa Island, the beach access ways in Destin, we provide dollars, operation and maintenance dollars to those entities to keep those park facilities up. So that's important. You got those operation and maintenance dollars, but also the capital dollars. We looked to recently a partnership with Destin Destin to secure some properties, some Gulfront properties there in Destin, because it's just so limited, the public access in Destin. But that was a very important partnership between the City of Destin and Okaloosa County to buy up some available land out there to expand into. So things of that nature, some of our sporting facilities are a tourism draw. We certainly look to sink dollars into those facilities as well. But there's a host of uses outside of just marketing that we can tap into.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Hofstad and I just came from looking at Crestview Southwest Bypass. And that's going to make a huge difference for everybody who lives in the Crestview area, who work in the south end. But, you know, as we went there, we had to travel a dirt road. This money cannot be used to pave dirt roads.
That's right.
And so that's one thing. But the surtax dollars can be used for that. One of the most confusing things I think about government is which pot of money can pay for what. I mean, you and I understand it because this is a language we speak to every day. But there are certain things, like the amenities that John was speaking of, the enhancement of our parks. A little bit of money goes to lifeguards. A little bit of money goes to the sheriff's office. Those things it can be spent on. So in the north end, the amenities that have to do with the parks and the usage of a park can certainly be used when we have this tourism development dollars. If we ever wanted to, for instance, many years from now, build a stadium somewhere in Okaloosa County, like they have in Pensacola, the Wahoo Stadium, this could be something that all the municipalities come together if they think it's a worthwhile project. Am I right?
That's absolutely right. And you know, you touched on just the dollars that flow into this county to support the various programs and functions that we have. You know, we've got a $500 million budget, but there are certain aspects of those revenues that have to be spent in a focused area that you can't take. To your point, you can't take bed tax dollars and supplement our jail budget, or take bed tax dollars and supplement public works budget. You know, they have to be specific to that tourism component.
Can you think of anything else that we need to add, John, that's important? The ballots have started to go out. People are receiving them in the mail. I've heard from you all. And you must return them by October 5th. I don't know how large a voting group this will be. I don't know whether a lot of people will return that ballot. I have not received mine yet. Have you?
I have not received mine as well, but that's a good point to make. You know, some of the online inquiries we get are, you know, can you use this tax to expand and build onto the schools? And the schools are a separate, special, independent taxing district, so they raise revenue through a separate tax that we all pay, and that you can't look to that cross-pollination of funding. So what they generate, they use to expand their schools, and they just passed a surtax here in the past year that is going to be used to expand schools. So this is specific, again, to tourism and tourism-related activities and facilities here in Okaloosa County. And again, I think it's critically important that we have so much to offer here above and beyond our beautiful beaches, and this is an opportunity for us to tap into that. So
I think so too.
And still not be a burden to our residents, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
You know, it's only fair if the tourists are coming off I-10 and coming into Okaloosa County. It's only fair that Crestview bear the burden, because those folks come through, they use the restaurants, they stay in those hotels there, and it would be wonderful for them to be able to tap into some of these funds. And that includes Niceville and Shalimar and Mary Esther, all the areas that currently are not able to utilize that, because right now only Destin and a coastal area of Fort Walton are able to tap into those funds.
That's right, and you know, not to mention, you're right, a lot of our draw here comes down the I-10 corridor, but there's a tremendous amount of traffic that comes in from the north end of the county. And Highway 189 through Wing and Baker, and then Highway 85 through Laurel Hill. Laurel Hill's kind of the gateway from the north end to the south end of the county, and they're rich with history in the Laurel Hill area, and that's an opportunity for them to tap into some of these resources to promote their town up there.
I had to smile when we were gathered gathered together with all the municipalities, the representative from Laurel Hill said, you know, we do a lot of hunting up here, and we want to promote our hunting clubs, and we want to promote clay pigeons and things like that. I thought it was just a wonderful advertisement, because there's a lot of ways that people can enjoy the diverse culture of Okaloosa County. So asking for your vote, thank you so much today for joining me, Mr. Hofstad. It was wonderful.
Absolutely.
We've had a big day already, and
That's right.
we're not even
A lot of
through
good
it
things
yet.
happening.
A lot of great things happening in Okaloosa County. We'll see you next Coffee with Carolyn.